All right, everybody, welcome back to the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. I'm your man, Triple R, and we are live. We are 100% live. We're going to talk about the train wreck derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. What is going on out there, folks? The train derailed, I remember, back in February 4th. It made a bunch of news, all over the news, and then all of a sudden it went radio silent. Who knows why it went radio silent? I think I know why it went radio silent, because it is probably one of the biggest disasters ever that happened in the United States, and nobody's paying attention until recently. I think Twitter brought it alive. The hashtags are out there. So let's sum it up real quick. We got a little video from the New York Times. I don't like the New York Times, so you're going to see a little bit of biased stuff into it, but let's add this screen up if we can. This is their summary from February 4th. So this is when it first came out. So of course they're going to slant and shade stuff in certain directions. So let's watch this video together. Let's get the big picture in case people do not know what's going on. And let's watch this together.
A train carrying toxic chemicals derailed and caught fire in East Palestine, Ohio on February 3rd, creating an environmental disaster with consequences for both residents and wildlife. Here's what to know. The train, operated by Norfolk Southern, was carrying chemicals and combustible materials, including vinyl chloride, a gas that can cause dizziness and headaches when inhaled, and liver cancer after chronic exposure. After a fire erupted from the derailment, residents were ordered to evacuate. Officials with Norfolk Southern decided to intentionally burn the chemical cargo in some of the cars rather than risk an explosion. The Environmental Protection Agency said it had not detected any harmful gases in homes so far, and officials said last week that residents could safely return to their homes. But with chemical spills, the threats to human health can linger long after the emergency is over. Particles from a chemical plume can settle on the ground and seep into sources of drinking water, and contaminants in groundwater can migrate through cracks into the soil and into homes. So far, the derailment's harm to wildlife has been more obvious than the effects on humans. The spill affected about 7.5 miles of stream and killed an estimated 3,500 fish as of February 8th. The National Transportation Safety Board said its investigation into the causes of the derailment was ongoing. In 2017, regulations requiring braking system upgrades for trains carrying hazardous materials were rolled back under the Trump administration. The Ohio Environmental Protection Agency is working on a cleanup of the site, but experts warn that understanding the causes and consequences of the derailment could require a more comprehensive investigation.
Well. So there it is. That was February 4th. And then basically they found out that it polluted the skies, it polluted the streams, the creeks, all the fish were dying, all the wildlife are dying out there. There's been people on TV where their chickens are dead. It's just a complete disaster out there. Let's get into some other stuff. Let's see what we got here. Because, I mean, it's a big story. It's a huge story. And finally, made it in the news again today. It was, like I said, February 4th, everybody was talking about it, and then it went radio silent. I mean, look at this cloud right here. Look at that. That is in space. Somebody shot that from their airplane. They were on their airplane. Look at that cloud. That is black smoke. Black smoke is the worst smoke because that's just toxins and all types of stuff. And, so what are they doing about it? Pete Buttigieg is missing. He's talking about there's too many white guys in construction hats in certain neighborhoods. I mean, this guy, where's FEMA? Nobody's there. They're trying to say it's good. I got a couple videos. Let me show you what the clouds are like there. I mean, they got these wicked clouds out there. It's my profile right here. I mean, look at these. Look at these clouds. Hold on. Let's play this real quick. Let's pause this for you. Let's restart it. There might be some offensive language in here, so bear with me.
These aren't storm clouds. This is the fucking shit that they burn off. The fucking shit they burn off in East Palestine. This is not fucking storm clouds. Look at it. This is over Darlington.
Darlington, is that Pennsylvania? Because Ohio is real close.
This is
That guy is lit up. I'd be livid too. And it's a shame because this cloud, what they burn is so toxic, so toxic. Let me see if I can't find. There is a doctor that talks about this. He's getting a lot of go on Twitter. Where is it at? I'll find it. Oh, this is something good too. That it's not related so much, but that Aaron Rodgers, I'd like to get into what Aaron Rodgers was talking about. Where is that doctor at? Where's the doctor? Oh, it's pretty good though, because Ihan Omar was talking about it, wondering where Pete Buttigieg was, and he finally texted the other day that he was trying to blame it on Trump. Everyone wants to blame it on Trump. I mean, Trump's not even in office. So let's get there. This is the ground that's covering it. Happy Valentine's Day. Was it yesterday? There's old Pete Buttigieg. Everybody's wondering where he's at. That's what he's doing. He's just strolling through there. I mean, this is a terrible disaster. But I want to find this doctor. Where is this doctor? I know I have it. Here it is. This guy right here, he'll explain more of what's involved in the chemicals and all that, because people need to be aware. I don't know why these people aren't evacuated. FEMA should have these people and far away, hotels. I mean, they didn't water after they blew this train up. They just blew the train up and shot all the chemicals in the air after it drained into the soil. So let's watch this guy real quick, and then we can get into some other stuff.
This hasn't been getting a lot of coverage, and the coverage that it has been getting hasn't been very good. So let's talk about the trail derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. East Palestine's about an hour north of Pittsburgh, almost halfway to Cleveland. Norfolk Southern has a rail line that goes right through town, and this derailment happened right on the edge outside of town on the border of PA and Ohio. Of the cars that crashed, 5 of them contained vinyl chloride. It's a monomer used to make PVC. The reporting on this has gotten vinyl chloride confused with polyvinyl chloride, the polymer made out of vinyl chloride. Now, the reason that this distinction is really important is vinyl chloride is very hazardous and very flammable. Polyvinyl chloride is a plastic that's used in like everything. The other thing about vinyl chloride is that it boils at 8 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's shipped in its liquid form. Meaning that when these trains crashed and these started leaking, they weren't just leaking liquid, but they were spewing boiling gas. So vinyl chloride is really toxic. OSHA has the permissible limit of how much you can be exposed to it during an 8-hour shift as a 1 ppm part per million, average over 8 hours. So prior to this, the biggest spill of this chemical was in New Jersey, where 1 train car and about 23,000 gallons of vinyl chloride were spilled, but it didn't catch on fire. Now, this crash in Ohio has 5 train cars. These kinds of tanker cars can carry between 25 and 33,000 gallons. Let's call it 250 to 250,000 pounds of vinyl chloride. That's per train car, 5 train cars. There's maybe 1 million pounds of this toxic chemical spilling into the ground and also boiling off into the air. But then it caught on fire. I think this is where the reporting is really bad, because no one is mentioning what the byproduct of vinyl chloride burning is. Of the many byproducts of burning vinyl chloride, one of them is hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is really unstable and latches onto water, like just water vapor in the atmosphere, and that turns into hydrochloric acid. So right now, government officials from the railroad, both the governor of Pennsylvania and Ohio, are calling burning off the 1 million pounds of this stuff a success, but not mentioning that it means that we have hundreds of thousands of pounds of acid in the air, potentially. Now, ever since engineering school, I've studied a lot of industrial accidents. I just find it really fascinating, and organizations like the Chemical Safety Board, NTSB, and OSHA all have like really good reports available to the public. I think as a designer, it's really good to learn about mistakes. When looking at these kinds of industrial disasters across time, there are a couple things that are pretty universal across all of them. 1, the responsible party, in this case, Norfolk Southern Railway, always plays down the reality of the situation. Politicians also just repeat the same lines, and then news up.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there. Supposedly, they're out there trying to do their own tests. They're trying to get people to sign waivers so they can't sue later on. These people are going to develop crazy stuff going on. And let me find one more, then we can get into the more talking of it. But I mean, it's a complete disaster out there. And I can't believe it was radio silent for 11 days. It happened on the 4th. Today's the 15th. And it was just complete silence. It's a cover up. I don't know why they want to cover it up.
Heart attack deaths have become more common across all age.
Yeah, of course it is. Vaccine, everything's going crazy right now. I don't think they know what to do technically, because everything seems to be crumbling for Biden and his regime. And I guess the elections have consequences. Where is it? Right here. But I'm glad that it's finally coming out. I mean, because today New York Times put out an article, and I guess that's why they sort of run this show. I mean, if they put something out, then people will start paying attention to it, because it was radio silent. Everybody was talking about it. Twitter was talking about it, like I said, and then it went completely quiet. But hopefully the citizens there can do something.
Just sit back.
This guy's on the front line handing out water.
Not do anything.
They had a town hall today where they wanted Norfolk Southern Train Company to come out. Of course, they did not come out. Pete Buttigieg didn't come out. Hopefully he'll come out. Remember when Barack Obama went out to Flint, Michigan and fake drinking on the water?
Corporation that dropped the bomb on the city.
You're not going to see none of that here, because it's very toxic.
So we got to help out our brothers.
They should evacuate that town and do something for these people. But I just wanted to bring light to it, and I want you all to make sure that you like and subscribe, and make sure you follow me on Twitter. It's down there. My original account, I think, is unlocked. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to thank you for tuning in to the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. I'm your man, Triple R. Peace and love, and everybody have a great night.